everyone, good evening. Welcome to BYJU'S exam prep. My name is Alpa Sharma and this is our weekly editorial analysis. Can you hear and see me clearly, everyone? Good evening, everyone. I hope I'm clearly visible and audible to everybody. If you could very quickly confirm that, we shall shoot with the session. Am I clearly audible, visible? Hi, Chiga. Am I clearly visible and audible? Yes. I hope, yes. Hi, Jobsupat. Good to see you back. I'd be glad if you could put your real name so that I can address you with that name. Alright, guys. So, meeting you after a long week, and many articles appeared in the last week. Yes, clearly visible and audible. Okay, so many articles appeared in the last week. Let me show you exactly what I'm going to do in the session today. So usually, while we have the weekly roundup every Wednesday, we meet at 8 p.m. I take articles from various sources. It could be from the Hindu, Aeon, Guardian, New York Times, multiple magazines. I can pick it up from any source. Okay. And I pick articles according to their relevance from the perspective of the various MBA entrance examinations. So if an article or something of that sort can come up in the examination, वैसा कुछ examination में आ सकता है तो मैं वो pick करके लेके आती हूँ. Apart from that, हम करते क्या usually? If the article is long, we take only one article. But today I have got two articles. We'll see हम किस pace से आगे चलते हैं. उसके अकॉर्डिंग हम डिसाइड करेंगे कि एक आर्टिकल सॉल्व करेंगे कि दो आर्टिकल सॉल्व करेंगे. In the articles that I bought, we take out the vocabulary and we try to memorize the words. Every week I bring new words to you from the articles that I am going to be discussing. वो हम याद करने की कोशिश करते हैं. और sometimes I bring questions for you in the form of tone of the author, summary of the article, inference. So today, out of the two articles that I have, one article I have made questions on it. So I've made that article into a reading comprehension, which we will solve together. And the other article that I've bought is a simple article. Now the sources, the first article that I've bought is from the New York Times. And the second article that I bought today is from the Hindu. Okay, this article I've made questions on. So I've made inference, summary, para completion and tone of the author question. And this article from the New York Times is a simple article. But it has a lot of inference, so we will be reading it together. So that's what we are going to be doing in the session today. So if everyone is ready with the articles and the vocabulary that I'm going to teach you, send me a thumbs up very quickly. Let me see how many of you are watching me live, and send me a thumbs up very quickly so that I know you are ready for the session to go. Oh, so your name is Anurag. I'm going to call you Anurag now on. Ready, everyone? Ready? Shall we shoot with the vocabulary, everybody? Yes. Okay. Here we go. So start करते हैं. अच्छा, in the meanwhile, if there's any person who thinks कि मैम मुझे ये नहीं समझ में आया, आप क्या मुझे ये हिंदी में समझा सकते हो? I'll be very happy to explain that in Hindi again for you. But of course, I'll try to explain that in English only because we don't have a choice in the examination. But at any moment, if you think you did not understand anything, you can ask me a question then and there. Right, Tejasvi? So here we go. The first line for vocabulary, here it is. First word, undermining something. Undermining something is making something seem less important. किसी भी चीज की वैल्यू को कम कर देना, उसकी इंपॉर्टेंस को कम करके दिखाना. In English, when you either demean something or make something look less valuable, less effective, less powerful, that is undermining its value. This could undermine years of hard work. So possibly if somebody says you cheated in the examination and you got through, that statement undermines my years of hard work. It demeans, it undervalues the effectivity of the hard work that I've put in. It undermines my ability as well. That's undermine. The second word is incisive. Incisive is not through your gut feeling, but through your logical bent of mind. Thinking analytically, smartly, and logically and clearly is incisive. So she was an incisive critic. She thought of things logically, uh, through evaluation, analysis, and clearly. That is what incisive means. In Hindi, incisive का मतलब एक clear thinking रखना, अपने दिल के हिसाब से काम नहीं करना, logically काम करना, दिमाग use करके कोई decision लेना is incisive. Got that everyone? Both the words clear? At any moment, if you think of synonyms or antonyms, आप बता सकते हो मुझे. We can increase the list here. Okay? The next word here is superfluous. Superfluous is such a high frequency word. When you come regularly with me for the editorial roundups, you'll see this word appearing multiple times. Also, you'll see this word appearing multiple times in editorials as well. Superfluous. Example, देखो. I have a glass of water. I keep filling up the glass. After a certain point, what is going to happen? The water is going to fill up to the brim, and then it's going to start pouring out. This additional water, this unnecessary water that's going to flow out is superfluous. Superfluous is unnecessary, not needed, more than enough is superfluous. The purchaser should avoid asking for superfluous information. Unnecessary information पूछने की need नहीं है is superfluous. Can we call superfluous as unnecessary? Can we call superfluous as more than enough? Yes, we can. Extra? Yes, we can. Abundance? Yes, we can. Prolific, related word to it. Okay, let's move to the next word. Incandescent. Usually ये हम bulbs और tube lights के साथ use करते हैं. Can you guess the number of lights I have in my studio right now? While I tell you the meaning of incandescent, can you guess the number of lights I have in my studio right now? Incandescent is anything that emits light, especially when it is heated up, like tube lights. Plumes of incandescent liquid rock, possibly it's out of a volcano. Yes? So that's incandescent. Bright light coming out of something, usually when it is heated up. No guesses, anybody? तुम लोग बातें नहीं करते हो यार, बिना बातों की तो क्लास बोरिंग हो जाती है. Intuitively. Can I say intuitively? Intuitively is the opposite of incisive. 8. Okay, roosters. No, not 8. I've got 6. I've got 6 lights in my room right now. Intuitively. Intuition se. Instinct se. Gut feeling. Usually we use this phrase. So opposite of incisive is intuitive. Possibly without any proper reasoning used. You use your sixth sense and then you say something that's intuitive. He knows intuitively how to calm me. Without any reasoning, he just knows it. That's slide number 1. Take a very quick screenshot, everybody. Nahi, ring light nahi hai. No, we don't have a ring light. I've got all of them as tube lights. So Anurag, you want to know a sentence for intuitively? So when I asked you how many tube lights do I have in my room, you answered intuitively. Without, or possibly sometimes you might have answered incisively as well, because you probably tried to use logic with the amount of light that's visible on my face. Apart from that, intuitively is, if I don't know the answer of a question, I would just intuitively mark a B randomly because I'm not sure of the answer. So that's intuitively. Without any proper reason, you just go with a guess or with your gut feeling. That's intuitive. Okay? So, slide number 1, I hope you've taken a screenshot. Let me move to slide number 2. Maliciously. Do I have a lawyer in my class? Yes, Harshit, I usually am. Do I have a lawyer in my class? If I have a lawyer, you would know what malicious is. So, malicious, let's look at the etymology here. Mal is the root word here. Mal means bad. Like malnutrition, bad nutrition. Like malafide, opposite of bona fide. Yes? So roosters, देखो, I'll tell you something. For you to help me take sessions daily, I need your help. I need you to like my session right now, and that's the Guru Dakshina you pay me. Okay? My Guru Dakshina will always be that you like my session and share my session. If you don't do that, you will not be able to repay me for the teaching that I'm giving you. Okay? And the daily classes, the planning is on the way. We're going to start really soon with our daily classes. Back to it. I hope you've liked the session. Malicious. Mal means bad. So when you do something with bad intention, is malicious intention. When there's a case in the court, so the judge will try to identify if you did something with good intention or bad intention. So for example, if you hurt somebody unintentionally, that isn't malicious. But if you deliberately hurt somebody and the person was suffering out of that, it's due to malicious intention and your punishment will be according to that. So malicious is doing something with the intention of harming somebody. Prove that the defendant acted maliciously, that he intended to harm the person or cause malice. I'll write the word. Malice is ill intention. इसी word से निकला है maliciously. Understood that, everyone? Okay. So that's malicious. Next word, banal. Banal is in Hindi, ghisapita. In English, overused. One synonym, cliched. Cliched. That means overused, not original. So, for example, if you listen to some songs by Honey Singh, for example, or some popular singers, or Tony Kakkar, for example, is the music too banal? It's overused, it's unoriginal, it's boring, it's nothing new, nothing exciting, nothing original. That is banal. Okay? Ghisapita in Hindi, banal can be overused, unexciting, cliched, boring. All of these are synonyms to banal. Okay? Anurag. Synonyms for intuitive can be your gut feeling, can be your sixth sense, can be your intuition. Okay? That's for intuitive. Exactly. Accused had malicious intentions towards the defendant. That could also be true. Okay? So, moving on with afresh. There's a very popular drink in the market these days with the name afresh. I'm sure you must have heard of it. Afresh is making something with renewed energy. Starting afresh, फिर से एक new beginning is afresh. Starting with a different way in a new manner is afresh. Teasing out. Teasing out usually is used with easing out of knots. So if there is a knot, okay, when you ease it out, that is teasing out. But how do we use teasing out contextually? We use teasing out contextually when we make something simpler, when we resolve a complex situation, a tough situation, when we make things clear, is teasing out. It can also be unraveling a mystery. Mystery tha, you eased it, you unraveled it, you cleared it out. Is teasing out. That's a phrase. Fresh works are opposite of banal. Ishika, that's the opposite of banal. Okay? Yes, Anurag. Correct sentence. The last word, ingenuity. Ingenuity is, it comes from the word genuine. Genuine, smart, clever, original, inventive. Can I say ingenuity is the opposite of banal? Can I say that these are antonyms? Yes, no. Ishika, can I say ingenuity is a synonym to fresh works? Are these opposite meaning words? Yes? Hello? Yes, 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 they are. Absolutely. Banal, overused, old. Ingenuity, clever, original, genuine, inventive. That's ingenuity. Correct. So these are opposite meaning words. Sign number 2, take a very quick screenshot so that you can revise them. Okay. Here we go. That's all. Chale, now let's start with the article. So, ये जो article है, the first one, I'll explain this article to you, and then I'll bring you to the next article which has questions. See, these main theme question, tone question, para completion question. We'll do this article later on. Okay, let's start with meat space. अच्छा देखो, when I first looked at the article for the first time, it appeared in the New York Times. Okay, I read this word as meta space. बिकॉज मेटा इतनी न्यूज में हो चुका है जब से नाम चेंज हुआ है फेसबुक का और जब से ये टेक्नोलॉजी डेवलप होके आई है. आई रेड दिस वर्ड इज मेटा स्पेस. बट डू यू नो व्हाट मीट स्पेस इज? द वर्ड इज नॉट मेटा स्पेस, द वर्ड इज मीट स्पेस. डू यू नो व्हाट मीट स्पेस मीन्स? Meat space is nothing but a word that simply refers to the physical world where we have tangible bodies made of meat. फिर से समझाती हूँ. Meat space is a word that means a world where physical bodies exist. These bodies are made up of meat. Your body, my body, all of our bodies made up of meat. हम जहां exist करते हैं उसको meat space बोलते हैं. Is technology doing funny things with literature? Is technology doing funny things with language? Was this word meat space even needed? It's a useless piece of word. It was needed only because we had a word cyberspace. तो cyberspace से link करता हुआ एक और word हो गया and that was meat space. But can we not just name it the world where you and I exist? Our bodies are made up of meat. Why do we even need to use the word meat space? So that's the thing. The article is a super interesting one, a very funny one, because it focuses on the fact that technology makes us invent new words that are actually not needed, or probably they were not needed in the past, but क्योंकि technology में इतना advancement हुआ, we right now probably need these words. Ishika, yes, but what is the need of calling out the meat space? The need was only because we have cyberspace. You're right, Ishika. And the need was because the word cyberspace existed, meat space should also exist. So that's the idea about the article. Now let's try to go ahead with that. Technological progress gives us a new perspective on things we once took for granted. We never thought why is world called a world. We thought about it only when the world started being called as meat space. So technology में जैसे progress हुआ, things started changing, names started changing, language started changing. And that's when we started thinking about things we otherwise ignored, we otherwise took for granted. Like for example, देखो, ICE vehicle. What are ICE vehicles? It's the short form of internal combustion engine. How many of you are mechanical engineers here? Do I have mechanical engineers in my class today? Yes? I've taught a lot of mechanical engineers dreaming to get into IIMs, and a lot of them have. None? Cool. Diversified. Internal combustion engine, short form ICE vehicle. When did we actually start calling it ICE vehicle? When electric cars came into the scene. Uske pehle, every engine was internal combustion engine for us. Only when the electric cars came into existence, we started calling the other cars as ICE vehicles. Otherwise, we did not even need the word. Exactly. So, like meat space, it's what the journalist Frank called as retronym. Okay, let's break the word retronym. Retro means old. Nym means name. Like pseudonym, synonym, antonym. Retronym is a name used for older things, probably a new name. So we used a new name, ICE vehicle, or meat space for that matter of fact. A new term that's invented for something old. This engine always existed. We invented a new term. The word world always existed. We invented a new word, meat space. This naming of old words as new names is used as retronym. Why? Because the older words became ambiguous. Usually because some development in technology happened, we needed new names. There are lots of lists of retronyms on internet. Let's take examples. Incandescent light bulb, because LED came into existence. Landline phone. Pehle sirf phone used to be phone. But after the mobile phones and cell phones came into existence, we started calling landline phone. Otherwise, we never called it landline. Everybody would call it a phone. Everybody would call a watch. But after smartwatches came into existence, we started calling the other watches analogous watch. Okay? Or for example, vacuum tube radio, because the other radio is a transistor radio. Do we even use the word transistor radio anymore? No, we don't. Radio is radio, even if it is played in your car or probably in the caravan that you have, Saregama caravan, wherever you play the radio, you always call it the radio. But after the vacuum tube radio existed, we started calling the other one as transistor radio as well. Link aa raha hai samajh mein? Naye naam kyun aa rahe hain? Why are the new names appearing? The new names are appearing because the older names. Sachin, retronym का फिर से मतलब समझाती हूँ. Retro का मतलब होता है पुराना, निम का मतलब होता है name. तो पुरानी चीजों को नया नाम देना. जैसे फोन को फोन बोलने की जगह तुमने लैंडलाइन फोन बोलना स्टार्ट किया, वर्ल्ड को मीट स्पेस बोलना स्टार्ट किया, कंबस्टिबल इंजन को सिर्फ कार के इंजन बोलने की जगह आइस व्हीकल बोलना स्टार्ट किया. तो ये पुरानी चीजों को नया नाम देना, क्योंकि टेक्नोलॉजी में एडवांसमेंट हो रहा है. That is retronym. Did you get this, everyone? Yeah? Okay. So, I hope you understand what is happening and what is technology doing to language. Right? Let's move on. Let's see. Unlike retronyms, infrastructure is an old word that keeps getting asked to do more work. Now, there's a new idea that's coming here. New paragraph, new idea. Can we link it? Yes, we can. Let's see how. The previous paragraph told about how new words are coined because technology is advancing. But this paragraph talks about how one word and its definition can be expanded. So one word can have many more meanings added to that one word. So, because there are other new things being invented with different features, yes, Ishika. But अब देखो Ishika and Mridula and everyone else, यहाँ एक नया idea आ गया. It says infrastructure word. Literal क्या meaning होता है? Buildings. That's what we use as. But infrastructure is one example of a word where a word and its definition can expand many folds. Let's see how. And it is unlike retronym. It's opposite to retronym. Here, instead of using a new name, the same name has been added with many meanings. It's an old word that keeps getting asked to do more work. बहुत काम करने को बोलते हैं हम इसको, क्योंकि इसमें बहुत सारे मीनिंग्स ऐड हो जाते हैं. It began as a term from French railroad. So it started with infra because of the railroad tracks that used to be built. और उसको infrastructure बोलते थे. Then its meaning expanded to include roads, bridges, sewers, power lines, all of this, and buildings. Then its meaning, infrastructure's meaning, even expanded to include people. How can people be infrastructure? Specifically caregivers? Yes. The White House did that. White House issued a letter that said the president's plan makes substantial investment in the infrastructure of our care economy. The plan invests in infrastructure. Who is the infrastructure? Better jobs for caregiving workers. So this line, the letter that used the word infrastructure, used infrastructure to also define people, that is caregiving workers. That means this one definition and its meaning expanded over time, including rail tracks, then roads, sewers, then people as well. What we learn out of it? Our language preserves old ways of living as surely as amber preserves long dead insects. Amber, pata aapko? You know what amber is? You know that, right? So amber can preserve insects that got trapped into it. And then volcanic ash also can be preserved. So basically, these preservation, like mummification, language also does that. We still see. देखो और कैसे मीनिंग ऐड होता है. Older words like infrastructure के word में बहुत सारे meanings ऐड हुए. We could also see CC जिसमें बहुत सारे और मीनिंग ऐड हुए. CC का मतलब क्या होता है? मेल किया है कभी? उसमें CC करते हो and then BCC भी करते हो. CC का फुल फॉर्म क्या है? CC का फुल फॉर्म इज कार्बन कॉपी. क्या लिटरली कार्बन शीट लगाते हो उसमें? नहीं, you don't use that anymore. It's basically a copy sent to the other person. Typewriter तब carbon copy लगती थी, but we still use the word CC. The meaning has expanded. Similarly, control C, control V करते हो. What is this? Copy, paste. But do you actually use a paste to stick something there? A fragrant paste to stick something like the glue? You don't. But the word copy paste is still used. One word and its meaning expanded. Amber is a color. Yes. It's not a cocoon. It's basically a stone. A colored stone जिसमें अंदर कोई भी insect trap हो सकता है over the years. Okay. So you understand this page, how words and their meanings can expand. So two perspectives mentioned in the passage. How new words can be framed and how older words can be expanded in their meanings. Let's move on. I recently learned that uppercase and lowercase letters got their names from the actual wooden cases of lead that were used by compositors for printing. So uppercase or lowercase, ये भी पुराने words थे, नई meaning add हो गई because technology advanced. People still talk about dialing phone numbers, but do you dial? Because you don't have those ABCD wala keypad. You don't have that dial, this circular one with numbers. But we still say, uska number dial karna, please dial his number. Why do we say that? The word is continued. The meaning, because of the technological advancement, has changed. We also roll up the car window, but that machine is no more existence. Everything is automatic in car these days. We don't roll up the windows anymore. They have just become outdated because of the technological. They become obsolete because of the technological advancement. Is this article a reflection about old times? This article is a reflection about old times, linking it to two things. Understand this. It links to technology. It also links to language. Because we are specifically talking about words and technological advancement in the history to present and how language was affected with that. That's what the article talks about. Yeah. Now, Along these lines, it's amazing that well into the 21st century, we're still describing the strength of our cars and trucks in comparison to the power of horses. You remember horsepower? आज भी use करते हैं ना horsepower. Car, train, ये सबकी strength आप कैसे describe करते हो? Horsepower से. Why did horsepower came into existence? Horsepower came into existence because back in the older times when James Watt, he was a Scottish inventor who developed a steam engine, and the steam engine had to pull. And at that time, horses' job was to pull. So to describe the power of the steam engine, he compared the steam engine's power to a horse's power. And when a horse used to pull, that was 746 watt, right? So 1 horsepower is equal to 746 watt. That was compared to a steam engine, and that's how we figured out how powerful the steam engine would be and how brilliantly it could pull things. So horsepower, technology changed, the name existed, the meaning varied over the time. More words, more rather definitions were added to the word horsepower. Ironically, अब irony पता है सबको क्या होता है? You know irony, right? So ironically, technology has leapt ahead since the 18th century, but the English language hasn't. At least when it comes to describing the power of engines. अभी भी हम horsepower ही use करते हैं. It's an older word. We haven't advanced since the 18th century, specifically in terms of language. Technology has advanced. We still use 746 watt for 1 horsepower. और ये watt आया कहाँ से? The name James Watt. We still use this name. We still use horsepower. We still use dialing, rolling up, uppercase, lowercase. We still use so many words. अभी तक use करते हैं because the technology has advanced and the meaning has changed. Yes? Understood that? Can I move to the next page, everybody? Do you like the article, by the way? Do you find it interesting? I'm trying to keep the articles not very inclined towards philosophy for one reason, and the reason is that philosophy मैं initially ले लूँगी तो थोड़ा difficult हो जाएगा आप लोगों के लिए. Although अगर आप CAT देखते हैं तो philosophy पे articles आते हैं. I'll take them gradually. अभी I'm trying to keep the articles not very difficult, but I absolutely loved this article. Okay, चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं, देखते हैं what happens next. Not all technical terminology has horsepower's staying power. Now it goes back. Horsepower stayed. What stayed? Copy paste stayed. Dial the number stayed. But will every word stay? No. All the words don't stay. Like priming the pump. थोड़ा देसी एग्जाम्पल देती हूँ आप लोगों को. If you, I don't know because you guys are too young, I'm sure you must not have seen it, but if you belong to a B circle or C circle city, or if you belong, or if you're as old as I am, you must have seen a pump. जो पानी सप्लाई आता था तो पंप ऑन करते थे, बट जब पानी सप्लाई बंद हो जाता था तो पंप पे हवा भर जाती थी. In English, this pump's job was to pull up water to the tank, and when there was no water supply, it used to grab a lot of air, and to release the air, we used to pour water on the pump. Remember this? Remember? Has anyone done this? You guys are too young for that, I think. I don't think you must have seen this. That technique was called priming the pump, जिसको आज हम stimulus बोलते हैं. We call it the stimulus today. Why was the change? Priming the pump was that if the pump collected some water, you would prime it. You would pour, it collected some air, you would prime it. You would pour some more water over it so that the air is released and it starts putting out more water. This concept is still used by the governments They don't use the term priming the pump. They use the term stimulus. What do the governments do? For an economy to function, you first have to put in some money as an ignition, as a stimulus. When the stimulus starts, when the ignition starts, the economy will throw out more money, bring back more money. So, priming the pump is a metaphor. Today, we use the word stimulus when the government would occasionally need to pour some money into the economy to get the economy working and pump out more money in return. उसके लिए आज हम stimulus word use करते हैं. No, priming is not oiling, it's pouring some water. उस पंप के ऊपर और water डाल दें तो वो water pull करना start कर देता है. That's the priming, not oiling. Okay? Flat screen, high definition color TVs are just TVs today. We call them TVs. We don't have to say, "Mera flat screen TV laga do." Unless and until you want to show it off, you would not say that. You would only say, "Turn my TV on." You would not say, "Mera ballpoint pen kho gaya hai." You would only say, "My pen is lost." Up and before long, self-driving electric cars will be just cars. Abhi you say, "I have bought an electric car," because these are new things. You used to say, I used to call my pens ballpoint pens when I was in school because it was a fad. It was a new thing in the market, right? But now you call them only pens. Sometimes you would call all the cars only cars because every car rather will be an electric car. Time and technology will move on. Language will be dependent on that. Understood the article, everyone? Yes? That was the article. Can you do a little homework here? Should I give you a homework before I show you the next article? Yes? Ready for the homework, everybody? So your homework is that you have to write down the main idea. I will not give you options, okay? Next passage, I have a question with options. You have to write down the main idea in not more than one line. Where do you write this? Under my video in the comment section. I'm going to check it throughout the next week before I meet you next Wednesday. Repetition of the homework, main idea of this article in not more than one line. One line, like the option of an examination. I'll check all of them, okay, and I'll reply to you if your main idea or summary needs any rectification. I'll reply to you on that. That's what your homework is. Let's move on to the next article. Questions then? Okay? I will not explain the article to you. आप मुझसे 3-4 वीक से मिल रहे हो. अपने आप पढ़ो ये article. Send me a done when you're done reading this. I'll take a break because the next page has questions. Read the page, everyone. Send me a done when you're done reading the page. रूस्टर्स अभी होमवर्क कर लोगे ना बच्चे? हमारे पास बहुत टाइम है अभी भी कैट 22 को लेकर. रेगुलरली कर लोगे ना? ट्रस्ट मी ऑन दिस. You just have to trust me. You are going to increase your scores exponentially. You just have to give me time. If I ask you to do a homework, please do that, my child. Read the page and send me done when you're done. This article is so funny, you're going to love reading this. It's super funny. Send me done when you're done reading. I'm waiting for your done. You have to read it on your own. Done? Super. Let me give you a gist of the page here. Okay. So, इतना तो समझ में आ गया होगा that small talks possibly are difficult these days, because when you meet somebody, you would barely ask, "Are you okay? सब ठीक है भाई?" That's all. All well? That's all. And the conversation will end. But the art of indulging into talks beyond this, we don't know. How do we go ahead? How do we talk? We don't know how to proceed. So the art of small talk is dying. Why don't we just sit and talk? आज कितनी गर्मी हो गई है, ये temperature already March, April में इतना हो गया है. Why don't we sit and talk about that? Why don't we sit and talk about our conversations? You guys, all those who've been watching me for the last 2-3 weeks, you know how much I love indulging into small talks. And it took me a lot of weeks to start getting answers from you. Okay? And trust me on this, you and I, while we keep meeting, in the next 2-3 months, we would be talking so many things, and we would be learning so many things like we talk, through we talk. So the art of getting into small talks is actually a dying one. All right, roosters. Okay, got that. Missed it up. So that's what the page is about. Let's move on and let's see this. Very interesting paragraph. Days later, I was at a small gathering where no one knew what to say or how to say it. Everybody was just formally sitting, standing around and looking at each other, and nobody knew what to talk about. Then someone burst out with a question that sucked all potential conversation out of the room. ऐसा question पूछा that everybody went quiet for a few minutes. The question was on a poor man's love life. So probably he must have asked, "What happened? Why did you break up?" And everybody went quiet in the room. Everybody. And then it was suddenly like nobody was interested in anything else. Everybody was quiet because everybody was interested in the story of this poor man's love life. So this is an example, and through the example the author is trying to explain something. Let's see that. I want you to answer this para completion question. Okay, I've eliminated one line here. So the line has to link to this line, फिर एक line missing है, and then comes this line. So you have to find out the missing line in between this and this line. The options are here: A, B, C, and D. What, according to you, should be the missing line? Answer the para completion question, everyone. देखिए अनुराग, टेक्नोलॉजी नहीं मेंशन किया है कहीं भी, हम अज्यूम नहीं कर सकते हैं. ओके, इट्स जस्ट दैट द कनेक्शन इज मिसिंग. क्या रीजन है? वी डोंट नो दैट. फाइंड आउट द मिसिंग लाइन, एवरीवन. व्हाट डू यू थिंक शुड द आंसर बी? What do you think should the answer be? Which should be the missing line? You can answer it as a para completion question, para jumble question, odd one out. मृदुला, कोई आंसर नहीं बच्चे आज? कोशिश करो. What should the answer be? Okay, Mridula says A. Okay. Others? B. Okay. अच्छा देखो, since others aren't answering, answer A or B में से ही है. Okay. Now, out of A and B, which line links more to this sentence? A and B, which option links more to this sentence? Mridula and Roosters, try to answer this. Anurag, answer A or B में से है, क्योंकि D लास्ट नेक्स्ट लाइन से लिंक नहीं करता है. अब A और B में से बताओ मुझे, मृदुला एंड रूस्टर्स, which? Okay, Edith's, you say B. Others, Mridula and Roosters, and Anurag, out of A and B, which line links more to the next line? The questioner had a doubt and he wanted to clear it up. Question था, पूछ लिया, doubt clear करना था. A ज्यादा लिंक करेगा या B ज्यादा लिंक करेगा नेक्स्ट लाइन से? You have to answer. Edith says B. No. B links more to the next line. I'll tell you how. B links more because the questioner had a doubt in his mind and he wanted to clear the doubt. तो उसके मन में ना कोई malice नहीं था, कोई bad intention नहीं था. He just wanted to clear it out. So he was basically only an innocent person asking a question. क्या हुआ भाई? Breakup कैसे हो गया? He just had a doubt in his mind. He wanted to clear it up. It was an innocent question. It was not because he wanted to start a conversation. Doubt था तो पूछ लिया. Innocent question था. Got that? Yes, it's going to be B. Correct. So, in para completion, always remember, my sentence has to link with the penultimate sentence, that is this one, and the next sentence as well. That's how I find my answer. The same logic can be used for parajumbles and odd sentence out as well. So, he wanted to clear the doubt. But the moment he asked, kya ho gaya, my breakup kyun ho gaya, there was a moment of stunned silence. Super silence. Tejasvi, are you watching me? Because I haven't seen you answering at all. Are you here, Tejasvi? Are you watching me live? Am I using too much Hindi for you to understand or anyone else to understand? Let's see what happened next. Then an embarrassed gathering all began to speak simultaneously to cover up their confusion, because everybody was quiet and everybody wanted to listen to the drama story, and then they realized, no, we have to cover it up. Everybody started talking instantly and small talk started. So looks like that question, what happened to your love life, was a starter of a conversation, a starter of small talks. People not only wanted to know the football scores, they also wanted to know which car did you buy. They wanted to know all the random things to cover up the silence. The host even suggested, let's go for dinner. It was daytime. So just silence cover up karne ke liye everybody came up with so many statements and conversations and small talks. That's an example of how you can start a small talk. The gift of banal conversation has returned with a bang. Small talk has reconquered us. People who till then were hemming and hawing and shuffling their feet, not knowing what to say, are now in animated conversation. I'm sure you haven't seen a person more animated than I am. The man of whom the question was asked turned a bright red and seemed to have swallowed his tongue, because obviously he was ashamed or sad, or he did not want to talk about it. The funny thing is, he didn't have an answer to the question. The question had acted like a clog remover in a sink. Sink hai, pani bhar gaya. Clog remove kiya, every liquid will flow down. This statement was not to start a conversation with the person who had a breakup. This statement was to start a conversation in the entire room. Small talks in the entire room. It was like a clog remover, clearing all the blockage of free conversation that had only been stuck to hello, good evening, and nothing more. His statement, what happened to your love life, started so many conversations ahead. Yes? So that's how it started so many more conversations. What happened next? Khud padho ye paragraph. I will not tell you this. Read the paragraph again, everyone. The last one. That's the funniest of all. Read this paragraph. So, if you think your party is boring, ऐसे randomly announce कर दो. अरे तुमको जेल हुई थी क्या? तुमने embezzle करे थे funds? तुम्हारा ब्रेकअप हुआ था? ऐसे random questions पूछ लोगे? The party will get going and it will be full of small talks. That's what the author suggests here. So randomly any accusation. Oh, तुमको जेल हुई थी क्या? Did you go to the jail? Did you embezzle the funds? Were you caught for that? And random conversations will start flowing in. So that's what you have to do when your party gets boring, and probably the small talks are not enough and everybody's just saying, hi, hello, how are you? Randomly put up this question. What's the tone of the author here? Sarcastic, illustrative, discourse, or humor? What's the tone of the author? What's the tone, everyone? Sarcastic, illustrative, discourse, humor. Anurag ke according humor. Baki logo ke according? There are 9 people watching me. Could you please quickly answer? Mridula also says humor. बिल्कुल अनडाउटेडली ह्यूमर है. ये जो लास्ट लाइन है ना, ये रैंडमली स्टेटमेंट बोलते हैं, ह्यूमर है, ये मजाक है. रोस्टर्स, ये ह्यूमर है. यहाँ इलस्ट्रेशन नहीं कर रहा है. इलस्ट्रेशन इज कोई एक्सपेरिमेंट करके दिखाना या समझाना. ही इज नॉट एक्सप्लेनिंग थिंग्स. दिस इज प्योर ह्यूमर. ओके, रोस्टर्स गॉट दैट? प्योर ह्यूमर, मजाक के सेंस में. खत्म हो गई बातें तो रैंडमली स्टेटमेंट दे दो. तुमने चोरी करी, तुम्हारा ब्रेकअप हुआ, तुम जेल गए थे, conversation start हो जाएगा. That's humor. Main theme out of the options that I've given you. What should the answer be? यहाँ chat में answer नहीं करोगे. You have to answer this again under my video in the comment section. So the previous article you have to write down, and this one I will answer in the next class. Or rather, if you comment, I'll answer to your comment. What should the answer be? Pardon, decide your answer. Don't reply to me in the chat right now. Reply to me under my video in the comments. That's your homework. Which option, according to you, should the answer be as the main theme of the passage? Main theme, central idea, summary, gist, title, all of these are related. Whatever question do you think is appropriate, what should the answer be here? Okay? So you have to answer this under my video in the comment section. I shall check it throughout the week. It's all for the week, everyone. I hope you've learning from me, and I hope you're going to share my video, make it popular, give me the Guru Dakshina. I don't need your thumb. Have a very good week, everyone. God bless all of you. But before I forget, if you're targeting the CMAT 2022, we have our live exam analysis on 9th of April, 9 p.m. Make sure you don't miss out on the live analysis for everyone who's sitting for CMAT. Even if you're not sitting for CMAT or you're sitting for CAT 2022, remember to watch the analysis so that you know the kind of questions that had appeared. If you are targeting the CAT, PI and WAT, we have an ideal program for GDPI preparation where Srinivas sir, who is an IIM Indore alumni, and Gautam sir, who is IIM Calcutta alumni, are going to be training you for the PI advanced session. I'm sure you would not want to miss out this opportunity. Enroll yourself right away for this program. You have 3 mock interviews, 1 VAT correction, personalized mentoring, B-schools from reviews by our mentors, 15 perfect sessions, and current affairs resource and study notes. Do that at the earliest. Also, if you're targeting CAT 2022, we have batch 5 that has been launched, where you can learn from the toppers themselves. All of the teachers here are 99 plus percentile. सरल सर, विकास सर, सरोजम सर, आपको पता है इन सब के साथ मैंने बहुत साल काम भी किया है, and I highly recommend them. They're the best in the industry. Look no further. जल्दी से enroll कर लो और like the session, comment under my video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Telegram, or Google Play. Thank you all. That's all, everyone. Have a very good day. Good night, Roundup.